The year 2024 continues to be the year of accountability, and now the bell is about to toll for the woman who stole the diary of President Biden's daughter, Ashley, and then sold it to right-wing activists. Let's discuss. I'm Dave Aronberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County, aka the Florida Lawman, here on the MeidasTouch Network. Thank you for all your likes and your comments. Please keep them coming. And as far as the stolen diary, you may remember this back from September of 2020, shortly before the 2020 election. Ashley Biden had been living in this home of a friend in Delray Beach, Florida, not too far from here. And then she moved to Philadelphia and kept her stuff back at that home in Delray Beach. And to replace her in the home, the homeowner rented a room to this other person, a woman named Aimee Harris. Aimee Harris, who is from Florida. Why do these people always seem to be from Florida? Why do they have to be from Florida? She decided that she would steal Ashley Biden's stuff, not just her diary, but all sorts of stuff, photos, a cell phone, because she wanted to make money. So she called her friend, a guy named Robert Kurlander, and together they approached Project Veritas, right-wing so-called journalists, the ones who do the gotcha journalism, led by James O'Keefe at the time. And they approached Project Veritas and said, "We've got something you may want." And they got paid. Project Veritas paid them a total of $40,000. And this woman, Aimee Harris, thought she can go back, get more stuff of Ashley Biden's, which is still in the house, and sell more to Project Veritas. Well, the reason why Aimee Harris and this guy Kurlander sold the stuff to this right-wing group was not just for money. It's politics. Aimee Harris is a Trump supporter, and she wanted to hurt Joe Biden before the 2020 election. She was hoping that it would perhaps destroy his chances if some embarrassing information came out. I mean, they were going after Hunter Biden already. Now is going to be another Biden child, this one, Ashley Biden. A New York Times article put it this way: in the final 2 months of the 2020 campaign, President Donald J. Trump, his grip on power slipping because of his handling of the pandemic, desperately tried to change the narrative by attacking the business dealings of Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s son Hunter, invoking his name publicly over 100 times. At the same time, another effort was underway in secret to try to expose the contents of a diary kept the previous year by Mr. Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden, as she underwent treatment for addiction. The inquiry has also intensified the scrutiny of Project Veritas. Its founder, James O'Keefe, was pulled from his apartment in his underwear and handcuffed during a dawn raid last month by the FBI, 2 days after a pair of his former employees had their homes raided. Yep. More accountability. The group, which purchased a diary but ultimately did not publish it and denies any wrongdoing, has assailed the investigation. That New York Times article came out at the time of the arrests. Now, Project Veritas has maintained that they are innocent in all this because they did not publish anything, and they were the good guys. They didn't know this stuff was stolen. But according to the New York Times article, they were engaged in some sort of extortion. Less than a month before Election Day, in an October 12th, 2020 email that Project Veritas included in a court filing, Mr. O'Keefe told his team that he had made the decision not to publish a story about the diary, adding, "We have no doubt the document is real, but that reactions to its publication would be characterized as a cheap shot." But Project Veritas was still trying to use the diary as leverage. On October 16, 2020, Project Veritas wrote to Mr. Biden and his campaign that it had obtained a diary Miss Biden had, quote, abandoned, end quote, and wanted to question Mr. Biden on camera about its contents that referred specifically to him. Should we not hear from you by Tuesday, October 20th, 2020, we will have no choice but to act unilaterally and reserve the right to disclose that you refused our offer to provide answers to the questions raised by your daughter. In response, Ms. Biden's lawyers accused Project Veritas of threatening them as part of an extortionate effort to secure an interview with Mr. Biden in the campaign's closing days. And this is what led Biden's team, President Biden and Ashley Biden's legal team, to refer the matter to the Southern District of New York, which then led to the federal prosecution of these two individuals, Harris and Kurlander. And in the indictment, it was specified that this was not just about money, but it was also about politics, about how Ms. Harris wanted to wound Joe Biden at the time running against her man, Donald Trump. So flash forward to August 25th, 2022. Harris and Kurlander plead guilty and they face a maximum of 5 years in prison. They're not going to get that, but that's the maximum for this charge. This is a charge of stealing information. It's officially called conspiring to commit interstate transportation of stolen property. It's a low-level felony, and it could get them at least some house arrest, if not prison. But in this case, Aimee Harris has just shot herself in the foot. Because while Kurlander agreed to cooperate and is scheduled to be sentenced on April 12th of this year, coming up, Aimee Harris was supposed to be sentenced on March 27th. Well, that's why I'm doing this video, because Aimee Harris was a no-show in federal court. She appeared by video. Her lawyers said, well, she's unable to attend because of childcare and other issues. That's not how it works. Let me tell you as a prosecutor, when we tell you have to show up because of sentencing, you better show up. And we're not the ones who are going to sanction you. It's going to be the judge. The judge, especially federal judges, they don't play around. They're not going to tolerate this stuff. Now, the federal judge here didn't throw her in prison right away. The federal judge, though, said that she's going to send marshals out to get her unless in 2 days she provides all this new material, financial documents, affidavits, and other materials that she's going to have to get working on right now. And then she better show up for the next hearing, the sentencing hearing, which is now going to be April 9th. Now, I can hear your grumblings. I realize that it just seems like some of these MAGA folks never get any accountability. They get special treatment, but that's really for the leader of the MAGA movement. When it comes to the foot soldiers, they often end up in jail or getting their money stolen, like the We Build the Wall charity scam or the Stop the Steal scam, or they end up with physical issues because they're using ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine instead of the proven treatments and vaccines when it comes to COVID. But when it comes to someone like this, it is still a low-level crime. And I think that's why the judge did not send out an arrest warrant immediately. So she's going to give her one last chance, but in the meantime, she's going to have to compile all this financial stuff and all these documents and affidavits. So it's going to make her life pretty miserable for the next couple days. And in a couple days, she's got to pony up this stuff or else the marshals are coming to get her. And when it comes to her sentence, she went from a situation where she was not going to get prison time because the prosecutors here were only requesting 6 months of house arrest. So the judge was going to give her that as a maximum. But now, because she didn't show up, she could very well be arrested. And the judge, I'm sure, will take it into consideration when she issues her sentence. So this woman, Aimee Harris, took what was just a low-level crime and made it much bigger by her actions or inactions here. It shows her real contempt for the rule of law and this court. We'll see how the federal judge reacts. But she was trying to get a payday, and then that failed, and instead she got arrested, and now she had to hire lawyers and go through all this rigmarole, and now she's on the cusp of being put in the slammer. So there is some justice in this world still. Meidas Mighty, don't lose faith. And if you want another example of it, that Project Veritas group that has done all these secret videos and has been so controversial over the years, well, they are a shell of their former selves. In fact, the leader of the group, James O'Keefe, was forced out in February of 2023 because of financial malfeasance with donor money, taking donor money and moving it elsewhere. Also, the organization has largely collapsed and is not doing much anymore, if it even exists at all. So as I said, 2024 remains, in my mind, the year of accountability, at least compared to recent years. Now, none of this will stop the dirty tricks or the MAGA extremists who continue to pay a price for their unflinching loyalty to one man. But as the January 6th rioters found out, you buy the ticket, you take the ride. I'm Dave Aronberg, aka the Florida Lawman. If you like this video, please like it. And check out our new channel, True Crime MTN, the fastest growing true crime channel out there. And I'll see you next time.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.